What is up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day. I am your host, Brendan Abbin, with my co-host, Nigel Patterson.
Hello, everybody.
Nigel, what is going on, my brother? How is your day going?
It's a day.
It is a day.
Yeah. How you doing today?
I'm alright. I feel I got that groggy kind of feel, like just kind of a little bit tired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but it has me like feeling like kind of like sleepyish. It has me feeling a little bit sleepier. I don't know if it's like the weather or whatever.
Weather ain't changing.
You said the weather ain't changing?
No.
What do you mean? It's kind of been cloudy though.
Cloudy.
Well, today it was partially cloudy.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh. You got the type of weather that what is it? That feeling when you whenever the weather changes, you get sick.
Not exactly. I don't know if I'm like the zodiac sign kind of person, but are you big into zodiac signs? And I know some people that go by like the zodiac sign stuff, like they go by it as like Bible sort of thing, like everything their zodiac sign says or whatever their periscope or whatever says about them, they're like, this is my destiny, this is my fate. Like I know people that have actually dated based off their zodiac sign. That's crazy.
Nothing wrong with that.
You would date somebody off your zodiac?
No, I wouldn't do it, but if that's what they believe in, yeah, go right on ahead, fam. Do you?
I don't know, man. That's just like who came up with the zodiac?
I don't know, man. It's like you don't have a computer right in front of you, or a phone that you're on.
You might know. How would I? Nigel, you know a lot of things. I can't ask you questions because you might know.
No, Brendan, you know more than I do.
Well, obviously, if I didn't know one thing, I'm gonna ask you because you possibly might know.
I have no idea who came up with them.
Was it the Chinese?
You know more than I do.
Oh my gosh, Nigel. Sometimes I feel like you would have this deep well of knowledge, and understanding. But then,
what are we talking about today?
What?
Who are we talking about today? No, like tuning in.
I'm in the middle of a
Nobody cares about zodiac signs. What are we talking about today?
Nigel, you know how rude you are. Where are your manners at?
My God, Brendan, what are we talking about today?
Can I finish my sentence?
Go ahead.
I forgot what I was even saying.
What are we talking about
Oh
today?
wait, yeah. I feel like it came out of Asian culture because that's where all the zodiac and all that stuff came from. Remember Jackie Chan Adventures? Mm-hmm. Remember that show?
Mm-hmm.
All the talisman they actually represent zodiacs and what was the thing of the year of the dog and all that stuff? The year of the dragon.
Don't know.
Nigel, you gotta become multicultural. Come on, man.
So what are we talking about today?
You're the worst. All right, y'all. So the topic rundown for today, we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and their treatment of the whole Lucky Whitehead situation. Should they have shown more empathy in the situation and more remorse? We'll touch on that. Will the Cleveland Cavaliers be able to make it to the NBA Finals if they don't have Kyrie Irving? We'll get into that, as well as talking about the NFL's recent release about the CTE study that was recently done. And does that hurt the outlook on the NFL and football in general? And should running backs have more value in the NFL? Seems like some people think that they shouldn't, but we'll get into that and give our own opinions on that. But we're starting off today's show by talking about... forgot to note. Remember, make sure you follow and subscribe to the KBR Sports Podcast by going on Rabble TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, don't forget to follow KBR Sports Twitter on KBR_sports, where we keep the live links and show topics prior to every single show. Also, don't forget to call in at 571-991-0566 so you'll have all things, so you can join in on any KBR sports discussion we may be having, and also so you can pitch your own topics that you want to be talked about on the show. Okay, so we're going to start things off with the Lucky Whitehead situation and the Dallas Cowboys. And essentially, just to give a quick paraphrase and quick summary on what happened. So Lucky Whitehead over this past weekend was put into a situation where, well, he, not exactly him, but his name was associated with a penny larceny charge that happened out in Virginia, and the person that the police arrested gave Lucky's social security number and like his date of birth and everything like that, and so Lucky was accused of it, and Lucky said that he wasn't even there. He said that he wasn't involved with the situation, the whole nine. Then, before all the facts come out about what the truth was, the Cowboys ended up releasing Lucky. And then it came out just recently today, or actually I think it was yesterday, that Lucky wasn't there, and the Prince William County Police Department actually admitted to their mistake and citing that Lucky Whitehead wasn't the guy that actually committed the crime. So then Jerry Jones comes out with the statement saying this is Jerry Jones' statement, and the press conference, or not press conference, but when he in his media availability, what he said following the events. I'm not going to talk about Lucky. I'm going to talk about players. I've never talked to a player that I didn't have empathy for. If you all, the media, he's insinuating, have done one thing in my time to criticize me, it is how I will back up a player to a fault. You've done it for years. I will back them up to a fault. So when we do make a decision around here that's in the best interest of the team to move on, there's one thing you can forget about, and that is whether you are being fair or whether you've given it consideration of what it means for the individual. Now, the weird thing is, in Jerry Jones' statement, the fact that he wasn't, nobody from the Cowboys really backed Lucky Whitehead, and which Lucky also said in his statement following this whole fiasco, in which Lucky said that the Cowboys pretty much called him a liar by not supporting him, and then that none of them really had his back throughout the whole situation. And it's weird because looking on the most recent events of this past week, Jerry Jones he was staunch in his support of Ezekiel Elliott, who is currently under investigation for a domestic violence allegation with his former girlfriend. So it's kind of weird that in one instance they fully support one guy, but then in the other instance they don't. And sort of what alluding to what Jerry said, the Cowboys have had a reputation, particularly Jerry Jones, of staying in the corner of guys that may have troublesome past or may be currently in trouble. Right now, the Cowboys have a slate of guys that are currently either suspended or are being investigated for different allegations. Most notable names: DeMarcus Lawrence, obviously Ezekiel Elliott, and Randy Gregory, who's now suspended a year for the substance abuse policy. So, I mean, Nigel, what do you think about how the Cowboys have handled the whole situation with Lucky? Do you think they handled it fairly by pretty much releasing him and not even admitting to the and then even in Jerry, I forgot to acknowledge the fact that in Jason Garrett's press conference when he was addressing this, he pretty much pulled a Bill Belichick and just gave a well-rounded answer of, we're happy with the decision we made and it was in the best interest of the team, and said it repeatedly. So, Nigel, what do you think about how the Cowboys handled the whole Lucky Whitehead situation?
You see the tweet by PFT?
So I didn't.
It said Lucky Whitehead sat across from Coach Garrett and said, "Coach, you gotta believe me. I didn't do this." Coach said, "I do not believe you."
Wow.
So, I mean, I think it's more so they wanted to get. I mean, he was a French player. Some kind of problem. You named a bunch of players that aren't French players. I mean,
Randy Gregory hasn't played a minute.
He hasn't played great, but they still think of him highly, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Yeah,
he's an edge rusher. He's a pass rusher.
This is a French player who quote unquote got in trouble. Mm-hmm. They were just gonna waste time defending a French player, and they're just like, you know what, not worth the trouble, not worth the headache. Let it go. Did they handle it wrong? Of course they handled it wrong. It's the Cowboys. But I mean, I don't know what else to say after that. I mean, it's just the bad situation, bad handling by them.
It's just weird. I mean, I should note the fact that Lucky has now been picked up by the New York Jets off the waivers, so at least he's found a new team. But it's just weird for me because I feel like it's one of those things that everybody says, okay, you were trying to prove a point by. The Cowboys have always been that team that's been late to the party in terms of, everybody's like, you should punish this guy for allegations he's had for this and that, or he's done this and that.
That's why it's surprising.
But it's one of those things that you had a reputation for always waiting for the facts to come out. You always are waiting before you acted. You're waiting for things to happen or for facts and stuff, the conclusion of the investigation before you're going to suspend Ezekiel Elliott. This guy got stuck with a petty larceny charge, and he said he wasn't there. And the thing is, it's weird. I think it's one of those things that's it's not like the NBA players when they say I got hacked, or I mean not even just NBA players, but players in general when they say they got hacked through their social media. This situation, he genuinely said I wasn't there, and I feel like to me, if a guy's saying he's not there, let me. But if a guy, I feel like that's a weird plea to make. Like, this different if you just said I didn't do it, but he entirely said I wasn't there. I was on a Dallas Cowboy plane. He said I was on a plane. So it's like, for me, it's weird for a guy to make that kind of claim, and you're not going to hear him out whatsoever.
Again, like I said, it's a French player. Like, you're not going to. Why are you going to waste? In their minds, they're thinking, why am I going to waste the time to go through and check all this? Why not just jump in front of this? It's like field goal kickers. When they miss too far to the left, what do? They overcorrect and go to the right. Mm-hmm. They were on.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
They were so full. They were. they're always in everybody's corner. So you know what they say? We're gonna get in front of this. We're gonna jump on. Nobody's gonna make fun of the Cowboys for this.
It's just, but okay. To your point about he's a French player, that's the reason why you get so much flack for this, because you chose a French player to make an example of. Oh, we're not gonna miss the hit on one something like this. Yeah. You missed the hit on Greg Hardy. You missed the hit on Randy Gregory. You missed the hit on Ezekiel Elliott. You missed the hit on so many different situations. DeMarcus Lawrence. You missed the hit on so many different guys that you just assumed were talented enough that didn't deserve to be hit.
That's so happened now.
But it doesn't make it right though. And the thing is, it's not even the fact that you cut him, because if you would have cut, it's like you kind of smear a guy's image when you cut him and it's like they didn't come out and say they cut him because of it, but we all can surmise that it was in conjunction with these events that took place. If you would have cut him a week or two from now, nobody would have cared. Nobody would have cared whatsoever. You don't lose anything from doing that either.
Yeah, you do. You know, like I said, it's not about the cutting them was just it's gotta happen. It's the jumping in front of it is why they cut him so early. If you don't cut him, if you wait for everything to come back, and let's say he did steal, and it's like, oh, why is he still on the roster? Blah blah blah. All the Cowboys are just doing it. And they're like, no, you know what? They're gonna do the right thing for once. They're gonna just jump in front of it, cut him. They're not gonna have the headache. They're gonna be the advocates of how to handle a player acting out.
But the thing is, they've never been the advocates. That's what makes no sense.
That's the point.
No, but and here's the thing, though. It's not like they had to do an investigation. They literally could have waited, and the police were doing their own investigation. The police were literally going back and doing the background. Ezekiel Elliott's thing's been going on for a whole year and a half.
Yeah, but they haven't found anything on Ezekiel Elliott as a problem.
But the thing is, you haven't. You made a defense of Ezekiel Elliott, but without even having concrete evidence that he wasn't involved in the situation. It can still come out. Ezekiel Elliott hit the girlfriend, and what are we going to say then? Oh, we are not supporters of domestic violence. But you supported the man and said that, and said we don't believe any of the evidence that's been released out. But then Lucky wasn't even there. The guy just gave his information, Lucky's information, and Lucky said he wasn't even there. He was on one of a Dallas plane. So that really makes no sense whatsoever. I think it's the overall moral of the move. Like me, I don't care that Lucky got cut. He could have got cut a week from now. It's the reason. It's like the perception of him getting cut. Like, it's just weird for me that you cut a guy pretty much to prove a point, but your point was entirely nullified because you cut him with wrongdoing. So even when you tried to get in the front of everything, you messed up still because you didn't even get in front of anything. You got in front of the wrong guy and cut the wrong guy. It just makes no sense to me. It's just weird.
It is weird, but I mean, like I said, the idea was that they got in front of it. They were going to cut him, and that Dallas Cowboys have been doing the right thing for once. It didn't happen, but it's just the way of the Cowboys.
But, and the thing is, like, I think it's so hypocritical because of the fact that Nigel, they got like 6 guys going through league process right now. I got a story
for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Jimmy Johnson, he cut a guy because he fell asleep in a meeting. They asked him, what would he say if Troy Aikman fell asleep in a meeting? Wake up, Troy. It's just the way it's always going to be. If the guy is contributing, if a guy has potential, if a guy's a star, they're not going to do anything to him. They're going to be like, oh, man, we wish we wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But, if you're going to do it, just keep it out of the public. But outside of that, it's always going to be that way. It's just like, and it's always like that for every sport, for any, not even for sports, it is. In life in general.
Like LeBron can get away with a misrotation, Tom Brady can get away with interception, but let it be another guy that gives up a big touchdown. He's a fringe cornerback. He's getting benched. Tom Brady's going to play the next series. I get the whole thing, but the thing is, Nigel, it's a different thing when you have a reputation of giving guys these kind of letting off. Like this is a thing.
Star players, that kind of.
No, but that's a league. That's a sports thing. This is a Cowboys thing. The Cowboys are always seen as a team. Jerry Jones, even in his quote, is saying how the media is always getting on him for backing his guys too much, for always being in the corner of his guys too much, even when they're getting in trouble. Now, when a guy gets tagged with a small, even a minuscule charge or something like that he wasn't even a victim, that wasn't even he committed, that he didn't even commit. Then you want to say, oh, well, now I'm trying to be this paradigm of virtue and whatnot, and put the hammer down on a guy. Like you're pretty much swatting an ant with a hammer, and it's not even the right ant that you needed to kill. Like it's just, it makes no sense to me. I think they look hypocritical by doing this. Like, I think if I had the full list, I remember some of the players on the list, but Nigel, they have a whole rack of guys. They have another guy on that's going to be suspended for PEDs. It's like, it's so many things. You got domestic violence. You got, like, it's when you just look at the order of problems that they have or that their players are going through at the moment. I think petty larceny seems like the smallest thing, especially when you didn't even wait for the end of the investigation to come to a conclusion on how you're going to judge them. I mean, think about it. We say a guy like we know that Randy Gregory, right? That he might have potential. Josh Gordon right now is being suspected by multiple teams. Josh Gordon showed us something on the field. Randy Gregory had more suspensions than he did sacks in his time playing. So it's like we saw something from Josh Gordon, so we're willing to put up with a guy like Josh Gordon and his suspensions and his struggles with dealing with his weed addiction. But when we have a guy like Randy Gregory and whatnot, you're still willing to retain him just off of the prospect of he could be great. But the man had more suspensions than he's had sacks. That's nothing. I don't get it.
But at the end of the day, if he does turn out, he'll have more sacks than he had suspensions. So win for the Cowboys.
I mean, but at this point in time, you've been losing with Randy Gregory. I mean, you haven't won yet with them, and it's like the best ability is availability. If you can never touch the field, I mean, you're pretty much. I mean, that's what everybody's been saying about Josh Gordon for the past 4 years. That
and I'll tell you right now, I'll take Josh Gordon back this second.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people would.
Yeah,
the only problem is, can you actually get him back? That's the thing.
Should be.
You said what?
Should be.
Should be what?
Should be back.
Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, I want to see him back on the NFL field. But that's the main tag is if you can actually get these guys back. I think Lucky got a raw deal. I'm happy he got picked up by the Jets, but I think the whole thing was
Randy Gregory point. His best year, they go to the playoffs, so they are winning with Randy Gregory. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Adam Morrison really contributed to the Lakers getting to the.
How many rings does he have?
Huh?
How many rings does he have?
Adam Morrison?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Answer the question.
How much he contribute?
Answer the question. How many does he have?
How many he contribute?
Yeah, you
ask the question first.
Anytime.
Ask my question first.
I asked you. Anytime you're on the NBA bench, you're contributing. So answer my question now. How many rings does he have?
You didn't answer me specifically.
I just did.
Anytime you're on the championship team, you're gonna win a ring. There you go. I answered your question.
Okay. Well, I asked how many he had.
I'm telling you what he's done to get his rings.
No, I said how many did he have? That wasn't my question.
I answered it.
How many did he have?
You didn't tell me what he did.
I did.
How has he contributed?
I said he contributed. He spaced the floor.
You said no. You said anytime you're on an NBA team, NBA bench, you're contributing
to a team. You asked me what did he contribute.
I'm telling you, if you're on a championship team, you're on a ring. I
didn't watch the Lakers. I can't tell you that. I'm not a Lakers reporter.
I don't watch him on the bench. I don't see how he's contributing.
Okay, that was your question. That wasn't my question. I asked how many did he have.
I answered your question. You didn't answer my question.
I just did. I just said I don't have. I'm not a Lakers beat reporter. I can't tell you exactly what he did.
I'm not a Lakers beat reporter either.
The answer's 2.
There's nothing.
Answers 2.
Yeah, exactly. All right, y'all. We're gonna head into break. When we come back from the break, we're gonna touch on the NFL and the CTE reports and the struggle and the mass findings that we come out more about CTE and the outlook it has on the league. Stay tuned to find out what we think about all the findings about it. Remember, after we go to break, wait about 40 to 50 seconds. The live link will disappear, but refresh the page after that time period. The live link will be back up for you all to tune into. It's KBR Sports.